Homes.com is the only place where you can find specialized neighborhood guides with the in-depth insider info home shoppers want. Very in-depth info. Want to know if there's homes for sale in the area? We've got it. How long has a home been on the market? We'll know it. Average lot size? Proximity to local parks? Of course. Insight into your neighbor's divorce? We're working on it. Homes.com.
Ding dong.
We've done your homework.
Welcome to the Going to Killing City podcast, a historical look at murder in Kansas City. Here are your hosts, Jamie Green and Alex Greenwood.
Everybody, welcome. We are live at Scissors and Scotch in Prairie Village. Welcome to Going to Killing City, Season 2, Episode 3. This is a great opportunity for everybody to, get their drink on during the daytime and have a spectacular time. Alex, my brother, it is good to see you. We hardly ever see each other anymore.
I know, but I don't take it too personally, but it's really good to see you again, Jamie. And Scissors and Scotch, what a great concept here. You're great. Oh, sorry, we're already getting the audience kicking in on this. This is great. Mr. Mike Brown is in the audience. It's so good. I love this concept where a gentleman can come in here, get a great haircut, and get a fantastic drink, especially one that I've just sampled here. So I'm looking forward to today's show.
Absolutely, and we want to thank Leslie, especially everybody at Scissors and Scotch here in Prairie Village, for letting us sit here and squat for the next 90 minutes. So thank you very much. And we got to say thank you to our sponsor this month. Our sponsor this month, again, is J. Rieger and Company.
Hey.
That's right, J. Rieger and Company.
Right,
yeah.
Rieger.
Everybody will clap for booze, right?
Yeah, I'll always applaud for that. And J. Rieger especially, my goodness. You just can't go wrong with what they have to offer. It's so good.
And they recently released their 90-proof straight bourbon. This is 100% distilled, aged, and bottled at their distillery here in Kansas City. Check it out if you haven't been. They do tours and tastings every day. They have 4 bars, of course, a tornado slide, and a restaurant on site. I actually played a private party there on Sunday.
Oh, really?
It was somebody's second wedding for both, so it was pretty low-key, but it was fun to go there, play a private party, get paid well, get a bunch of free booze. Daytime gig, it's everything I love.
Everything you love. And I know, though, that you've retired from sliding at J. Rieger.
No, yeah.
You don't do that.
No.
You leave that to Kelly.
Kelly still does the
sliding at J. Rieger.
Yep, look at her.
That's
there she is.
She's fun like that.
She is.
She'll do that.
She's much younger.
She'll do that.
She's like 20 years younger than me.
I do it, and I'm only 3 months younger than you, so there you go.
One last thing before we delve in. So Scissors and Scotch has their own custom cocktail on draft through the end of the year using the new Rieger bourbon. It's called the Midwest Revival. It's made with Rieger bourbon and tart cherry soda. So I knew a lot of girls in college that would have loved that drink, so right? Okay, so before we get to, one of the things I have to do, so for folks who listen to us every month, we do know that I may have said some disparaging things about the Kansas City Royals at the beginning of the season and talked about they sucked and why would they need a new stadium if nobody came, and I'm wrong. They had a great season.
They had a great season.
Good for them. They made the playoffs.
Absolutely
so
great.
Excited. So build the new stadium. Screw it. Don't care anymore. So.
Yeah. Well, it was. You know what I loved about it. There was definitely not the air of inevitability about it.
Nope.
It was like, oh, they're not going to get into the postseason. It's not happening. And then, boom.
Yeah. It was great.
I was pretty blown away by the play. And you know what? I have to express my condolences and sadness to them for the loss, but to tell them, I hope everybody's encouraged by it and they'll keep going, because I think they got some good folks there.
Nope, it's great. And we hate the Yankees, so please beat the Yankees next year. So. So for people who are first joining us, for people who are just captured here because they're getting their hair cut and they're like, what the fuck, why is there a podcast going on? Sorry, fellas, it's just going to happen. So we are a historic podcast about murders in Kansas City. They have to be 20 to 25, a little older, but they can't be just regular murders. They have to be weird, strange murders.
Stuff. Or just crimes, actually.
Yeah. Yep.
Not just murders, but usually murders.
Yep. And also, we don't talk about kids because we're fathers and that's gross and we never would do that. So, but there we so the way this works is one of us researches and writes the episode. The other one gets a hint. So for this month's hint, and makes a killer cocktail out of it, I gave Alex the hint, Slayin at the Savoy. So Alex, What is your drink choice?
Well, but you know what? Since we're doing it live, I kind of put my drink to the side because, frankly, Leslie's got it all beat anyway. So I hope you'll forgive me. I was going to play on the Savoy Truffle. It's a gin martini.
Okay.
But you know what? We've got a black cat here,
Yeah.
Which I think. Do you mind if I talk about that?
No, please go ahead.
So
I see you hated it. You've already drank the whole thing.
I thought this was just a sample. I was ready. I'm good. But no, Leslie, who is just delightful and is a fantastic mixologist, put this together. It's called the Black Cat Cocktail. Here's what we've got in this wonderful drink. You're going to take a pinch of grapefruit zest, just a teaspoon of simple syrup. And as I've told you on the show before, simple syrup is so easy. Don't go buy it. All you got to do is heat equal parts sugar and water in a saucepan and then let it boil up and then let it cool and you have it. Put it in a jelly jar, seal it up, put it in the fridge. It'll last about a month. You don't need to go buy it. And it's always great to say, this is my special simple syrup. I made it myself. You know what I'm saying? I must say. So you'll add that with some Old Tom gin, some mezcal, and some Punt Imes. And that is just a bittersweet, fortified Italian vermouth. And it has a dark brown color, and it's a strong, distinctive flavor. And the name Punt Imes is pronounced, as I say, Punta Mes, and it translates to a point and a half in the Piedmontese dialect. And this refers to the drink's flavor, which is described as being half a point bitter and 1 point sweet. So, made by infusing white wine with a secret blend of herbs and spices a la the Colonel. No, I'm just kidding, not the Colonel. Including orange peel and quinine. And the flavor it imparts is very aromatic with notes of mulled spices and juniper and flavors of stewed red fruits, prunes, and orange zest. So anyway, it can be great as a substitute for regular Rosso vermouth in drinks like the Americano, the Manhattan, Negroni, and Boulevardier. It can also be enjoyed neat with ice or with seltzer, but you'll add that with some Amontillado sherry, which is a dry, fortified, amber-colored sherry wine with a nutty flavor, a grapefruit twist. You'd muddle the grapefruit zest and the simple syrup in a mixing glass. You add all the other ingredients and stir with ice, strain it into a chilled cocktail glass, and present it with a smile from Leslie, and you garnish it with that grapefruit twist and enjoy it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is fantastic. Scissors and Scotch did a great job with the Black Cat. I think everybody can agree once you taste it, this is one Black Cat you want to cross your path.
Where's my drums? Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be here. I'll be here for another 85 minutes.
Okay. So, again, historic murders, Slayin at the Savoy was the hint, and we're going to delve in. And I'm hoping that the entire time we do this, we keep confusing. The best part so far has been watching people walk in and be like, why is there a podcast going on?
Why are they? Well, we're going to do live coverage of your haircut, sir.
There you go.
Be ready. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, so we all stay in hotels from time to time. Even with the rise of Airbnb and Vrbo, Americans are still utilizing hotels frequently, according to the hotel industry officials. The number of hotel users in the United States is expected to increase by 25.7 million people in the next 5 years. By the end of the decade, it is estimated that 185 million Americans will check into a hotel every year. But Alex, when you close that door to your hotel room, do you ever think about all the people that had stayed in that room before you did?
I try not to, and that's precisely why I don't bring a black light with me.
That's a really good point. Don't bring the black light.
Don't bring the black light.
Okay. No. And if it's a really old hotel, do you wonder how many people may have died in that room, Alex?
Oh, wow. No, I try not to do that as well. I like to sleep at night.
Exactly, because it's creepy.
It is.
But it probably happens from time to time,
yeah,
right?
You gotta wonder.
So, but what if the hotel you're staying at has more than its share of tragedies? Would you want to know? Or would it be better not to know? When you turn off those lights and lay in that hotel bed, could you put those thoughts out of your mind? Or if you heard a weird sound or felt a sudden chill, would it freak you out? If so, you might not want to listen to this episode. But it's Halloween season, right?
Ooh, scary kids.
Exactly. So people like to be scared, especially during the Halloween season. So this is our people today, because when it comes to the Hotel Savoy in downtown Kansas City, there have been a bevy of tragedies, and numerous guests who have stayed there have experienced something they could not explain. Where's the music? Where's the theremin? We need the theremin. We'll put that in post. There you go. Thank you. I love it when we get the peanut gallery involved. Okay, the Hotel Savoy. now known as the 21C Museum Hotel Kansas City. You know, it just felt like Hotel Savoy just didn't roll off your tongue. You really needed 21C Museum Hotel Kansas City. It's so much more concise. And just, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Just, I mean, nobody would forget that.
I just did.
Okay. It's located at 219 West 9th Street, downtown Kansas City. It opened in 1890. It was originally named the Hotel Thorne after its builder, Dr. Joshua Thorne. The hotel was known to be state-of-the-art for its day. It featured free baths as an amenity, something that was very rare in 1890. You got a bathtub in your room, they didn't charge you extra for it.
Yeah, it's a clawfoot and everything of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. If you don't know the hotel, you probably have heard of the Savoy Grill, which has jazz music and stuff, and it's attached right to the hotel. Its most famous customer was Harry Truman, who dined there so often. There is a booth named after him, known as booth number 4. Truman's not the only president who have dined at that booth. We got some stalwarts here. Warren Harding.
Well, who could forget Warren?
Yep. Gerald Ford. And, well, here you go again, Ronald Reagan. Have all dined there. I've had to eat at that booth more than once. There used to be a person who I can't say who it is that used to be an elected official who fancied herself as the new version of Harry Truman and always insisted when I worked at the chamber that we had to sit in that booth. I will tell you that offline afterwards because I still have to work in the city for the next 10 years.
I've got a couple of people I think it might be.
Okay. When the hotel was only 1 year old, it suffered its first tragic death. You might want to keep, a list of all these. It's a long list. We're going to have a lot of these. So anyway, on February 9th, 1891, Walter S. Brooks leapt out of a 4-story window to his death. Brooks was from Hannibal, Mo, which of course is Mark Twain's hometown, and decided to end his life by jumping out of room 403 where he had checked in the day before. Authorities found no suicide note, but ruled the death a suicide since an eyewitness saw Brooks open his window, step out on the sill, and just jumped off. Dr. Joshua Thorne, the hotel's owner, fell into financial difficulties and had to sell the hotel for $200,000 in 1892. That's a lot of money back then. Just 1 year later, in June of 1893, Dr. Thorne died of bronchitis in that hotel. So we've got already 2 people dead at the hotel in the first 3 years. He was still deeply in debt. At the time of his death, the Arbuckle brothers bought the hotel and renamed it the Hotel Savoy. Even with the new name, the hotel continued to have horrific deaths among its guests and staff. In June 1895, C.C. Tincher checked into the Hotel Savoy. Tincher was from Topeka. Tincher seemed, quote, bright and cheerful, according to witnesses, but he clearly had dark thoughts. Tincher left the Hotel Savoy around noon, walked a short distance to the Hannibal Royal Road Bridge, where he leapt to his death. In his suicide note to his family, he asked for forgiveness and said his life had become a burden to him, and he was tired of living. The note went on to state that he, quote, had been going downhill for a long time, smoking, drinking, stealing, and telling lies. Or in another thing, a weekend at Alex Greenwood's house.
I was going to say, dude, you're living it up. What's the problem here?
Seems like a good time.
All right.
All right.
Mr. Pincher?
In January of 1898. So again, people, this isn't the first 10 years of this hotel. It's like a cavalcade of death and destruction. And Mrs. Etta Marshall of Topeka checked into the Hotel Savoy. She was only 23 years old. Etta was noted to be well-dressed and refined when she checked into room 86 on the 4th floor. But the next day, when the chambermaid tried to enter the room at 1:30 in the afternoon, she found the door locked from the inside. The house cleaner unlocked the door, where they discovered Etta unconscious next to a bottle of morphine.
Oh.
There was an envelope addressed to a Mr. Harry Johnson. All right, Greenwood, come on.
I can't. That's just too easy. Seriously?
It was his real name. I looked twice because I was like, he should have killed himself because he had Harry Johnson. At the New York Life building, the note stated, "Give this to Mr. Johnson. He will take care of me." It turned out Marshall was unhappy with her current marriage and had twice unsuccessfully tried to get a divorce. I'm sure back in the 19th century, getting a divorce was virtually impossible, especially if you're a woman. According to her family, she was infatuated with, once again, Harry Johnson, and decided to end her life because she could not be with him. She never regained consciousness and died the very next year.
Well, I mean, maybe, he used the depilatory, and that changed things a little.
Oh, my gosh. All right. As soon as I saw
It's a hair salon, see? It's airy. So.
There we go. He should have come to Scissors and Scotch, right?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Then he would be hairless.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. And as I'm reminded that you're just sharing some of the big deaths. So imagine all the little deaths at this hotel.
Oh my gosh,
There
yes,
you go.
right? So just 1 month later, another individual would choose to end their life at the Hotel Savoy. Yeah, I know, man. I'm telling you. I'm setting the stage why there's such bad juju in this building.
Oh, okay. All right.
40-year-old J.L. Williams of Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Guthrie?
Yeah, when your stick, right? Would check into the hotel and be given room 99 on the 5th floor. 99. Once again, his body was discovered. When a chambermaid was unable to get into his room to clean it, Williams had shot himself in the head with a .44 caliber revolver. Later, newspapers would report Williams owed $3,000 to creditors and was able to get a loan to repay that sum. He became despondent and shot himself.
That's just awful.
Yeah. The very next year, we're on a roll here. Tragedy would again strike at the Hotel Savoy as a young newsboy would be run over by a streetcar right in front of the hotel. That was in the original version of Newsies, but they felt it was a little too dark. And the Broadway, right?
Yeah.
Just a little too much.
When the Hallmark Channel bought Newsies, they wanted it toned down a little bit. Jeez.
On April 28, 1899, 12-year-old Baxter Blythe, which is a great name, you should use that in one of your books someday,
I should.
was run down by a streetcar. His skull was fractured along with both legs and both ankles. At the time, newspapers speculated the accident was most likely fatal, but Baxter rallied.
Oh.
But his bad luck, Alex, sadly, was just beginning. In July of that year, he had recovered enough that he was allowed to leave the hospital on crutches to visit his widowed mother and his sister, who was very sick at the time. On the way back to the hospital, his crutches slipped, and he fell and broke his leg again. He had to go back to the hospital.
Not his year.
No. But that was not the last of Baxter's life tragedy. When you have a name like Baxter Blythe, you're easy to follow through the archives the whole life. If it's James Green, or even probably Alex Greenwood, not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
So in September of 1921, he again appears in the Kansas City Star for a most horrific reason. His infant son, John Wendell Blythe, who was only 19 months old, choked to death on a safety pin while his mother was preparing him for a bath.
This is awful.
I know it. It's Halloween, spooky, scary. He last shows up in the Kansas City Star on March 13, 1957, when it's reported he died while driving his car at 75th and Troost. He had suffered a massive heart attack.
Oh, my goodness.
I know it.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, he choked to death on the bobby pin. You imagine? No bueno. In February of 1903, the Hotel Savoy would have its first murder mystery. I know we'd had to get to murder eventually.
Here we go.
Right?
Murder.
A Mr. J.P. Seeger of Burlington, Kansas, was poisoned and robbed of $380. That's a lot of money. I looked it up. That's $13,500 in today's money. Why was Seeger carrying so much money? That's one of the several questions that have never been answered. Seeger had tried to check into the Hotel Savoy, but it was completely booked up. The staff recommended he stay at the Thelma Hotel, which was across the street. Seeger had apparently been a frequent guest at the Hotel Savoy, so much so the staff knew him well. 3 bellboys from the Hotel Savoy carried his luggage across the street and helped Seeger check into the Thelma Hotel. The next morning, though, staff at the Thelma Hotel found a barely conscious Seeger laying on the floor where he stated he had been robbed and poisoned. His wallet was completely empty, and his pockets had been rifled through. Kansas City police first suspected the 3 Hotel Savoy bellboys, Lauren Eaton, Ward Hamblin, and J.B. Hill. They were promptly apprehended and interrogated. The working theory was that they had given Seeger a glass of whiskey. Oh, wait a minute, I'm drinking whiskey right now.
I know you are, right?
Leslie, you didn't put anything in my whiskey, did you?
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
Just saying.
Just drinks, okay.
Yeah, you're doing all right so far.
But they tested it. They only found nothing besides charcoal. Which, what? Why would there charcoal be in there? It wouldn't kill Seeger, so the 3 bellboys were released. Kansas City police soon ran out of leads and seemed completely stymied. Yet another, one of the themes of this podcast. An inquest and autopsy found that Seeger had died from powdered glass in his stomach. The autopsy also found, quote, a dose of morphine in his stomach, a hemorrhage of the brain, Bright's disease, congestion of the heart, congestion of the lungs, alcoholism combined with kidney trouble, cirrhosis of the liver, and chronic duodenitis. And they also found chloroform. It's kind of like murder on the Orient Express. Like any one of these things could have killed him.
It's true. It's the Rasputin strategy.
Exactly. Yeah. So it led to the theory that he had been robbed and murdered because they found a bandage in the room that contained chloroform, which was also found in him. With no further leads to follow, it appears the police lost interest and changed the cause of death theory from murder to suicide. How to get it off the books? No longer murder.
It's just,
not a problem.
We're not interested.
Exactly.
It's all right.
This upset members of his hometown of Burlington, Kansas, so much that they lobbied then Missouri Governor Dockery to offer a reward for his killing. Dockery did so, offering a reward of $300. That's nothing to sneeze at back then.
Yeah.
For the arrest and conviction of his murder, but that's the last update in the various newspapers on the case. It seems that Kansas City had moved on, and no one was ever charged or convicted in his murder.
Oh.
So we get a little respite in the old timeline at the Hotel Savoy, but
Right.
It won't last.
Well, nothing ever does, right?
That's right.
Seriously, because your sorrows check in,
Exactly.
but your spirit doesn't check out. Sorry.
In April of 1926, yet another suicide would take place at the Hotel Savoy. This time it was an employee named Jack Wall who shot himself at the hotel. He was only 33, which at our age now seems incredibly young, and was survived by his widow and 3-month-old son.
Yikes.
All right, just 3 years later, 16-year-old Claude Knock Jr., another great name for you.
Claude. He had a lot of cats.
Exactly. Would be the next victim at the Hotel Savoy. Hired to be an elevator operator, young Claude made a fatal error as he forgot to place the elevator into neutral.
Ooh.
He noticed the elevator cage started to ascend. He then tried to climb inside the elevator cage to regain control, but was crushed up against the side of the elevator as it rose up to the 3rd floor. He then fell from the elevator entirely, falling all the way down to the elevator shaft to the basement, where he broke his neck upon impact.
Ooh. That happened to my Uncle Otis.
So
Sorry.
bad.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. For the next 40 years, things seemed quiet at the Hotel Savoy, but the changes started again. In 1970, January 28, 1970, Oswald Turner is shot in his hotel room and later died in the hospital. Oswald Turner was only 28 years old. He worked as a taxi cab driver for the American Cab Company. On the afternoon of January 28, 1970, he was found in his 4th floor. Getting a lot of 4th floors and 5th floors. Have you noticed that yet?
Yeah. Well, we're in a bar. There's a lot of fifths.
Yeah, there you go. I'm having one right now.
Thank you.
He had a gunshot wound in his head from a .22 caliber gun. At first, now think about this. He's shot in the head with a .22, and he says, "No, I'm fine."
Well, it's a 22, you know?
Right, but he's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't need to go to the hospital. I'm good."
Yeah.
But his brother has to come over and say, "No, you really need to go to the ambulance and go to the hospital." So he does, but by that time his case had worsened so much he died.
Oh.
So this is one of our other murders at the Hotel Savoy. A man was seen with Turner at 3 o'clock in the morning going into his room that night. Turner was known to carry that .22 caliber handgun while driving his cab. Police suspected it was used in his shooting. About 20 minutes after being seen, those two fellows, a bellhop heard a shot up on that 4th floor where Turner had a room. Upon investigating, he found a pair of trousers in the hallway, later identified as belonging to Turner, and a hallway window open. I'm thinking shart. I don't know. You? Anything?
I got nothing on the pair of trousers in the open window.
Police soon identified the man seen with Oswald Turner. He was Harold D. Stoneberger, who was 22 years old, listed with no permanent address. That's never good. He was charged with first-degree murder, but that was lessened to manslaughter because there was no evidence of premeditation or deliberation before the shooting. Once again, the paper trail goes cold. I could find no more mentions of either Oswald Turner or his murderer, Harold Stoneberger. Dun, 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 dun. All right. In 1982, another Hotel Savoy resident met a grisly end. Susan Singh was the resident of the Hotel Savoy at the time of her murder. Susan was 34 years old when her body was found in a shallow grave in Platte County. In May of 1982, she had been beaten to death. Police soon focused on her estranged husband, Michael H. Singh. Susan had recently filed an assault complaint against him earlier that month. In a most galling twist, it turned out Susan was not the first wife Michael had murdered. In 1977, Singh was convicted of the manslaughter for the shooting deaths of his first wife, Mary Ann Singh. Singh only served 4 years in the Missouri Penitentiary before being transferred in September 1981 to the quote-unquote KC Honor Center at 919 Oak Street. And a truly heartbreaking note about this case, Susan Singh had no idea that the man that she had married and that would later kill her had already been convicted of murdering his first wife.
Already convicted?
Yeah, he got convicted for the first one, but they just put him in prison for 4 years and they let him out and put him in a halfway house and he got married again.
Eventually, Singh was ordered by a judge to be confined to a state mental hospital for life. He was found innocent of capital murder charge because of mental disease or defect by Johnson County, Missouri Circuit Court Judge Robert Russell. Finally, In February of 1990, the Hotel Savoy had its most gruesome murder. Scott Crum was 33 years old and the night manager of the restaurant. He was stabbed a total of 35 times with a knife from the Savoy kitchen when two men tried to rob him after the restaurant was closed. According to KCPD, Crum was led up to the second floor where he was ordered to open the safe. According to the then hotel manager, Crum didn't know the combination of that night safe where the night deposits were held. And according to police, Crum was stabbed when he could not open that safe. Instead, the robbers stole 10 to 12 cartons of cigarettes and Crum's $277.71 paycheck. His body was found the next morning by the hotel's bookkeeper. Police soon ascertained that he was murdered by 27-year-old Terrence Wilson and 30-year-old Jose Drew. Drew was a dishwasher at the Hotel Savoy for only 4 weeks at the time of the murder. Both men had been convicted of previous felonies. Jose Drew's criminal record was especially shocking. He had been charged with murdering 2 other times in the past years. The first case was dismissed after a witness refused to testify. The second murder charge was admitted to robbery, and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. He literally had a warrant out for his arrest when he murdered Crum.
Oh my gosh, this is depressing.
It almost feels like the Savoy was jinxed or had some bad juju with it. For the second half of the podcast, we're going to discuss all the creepy things that have been experienced while spending a night or more at the Savoy, including a first-person interview from a woman who spent a night with her husband at the Savoy on Valentine's Day in 2007. Stay tuned.
Homes.com, we do whatever it takes to get you the in-depth info on local schools you won't find anywhere else. Things like student-teacher ratio, test scores, and school programs. And sometimes that requires attending school recitals. So many recitals.
That's my son. Isn't he terrific?
Yeah, a real prodigy. Homes.com. Ding dong. We've done your homework.